Every 4 years, America faces a pivotal moment, choosing its next leader. But how does this process really work? Welcome to Voting Uncovered on ABC AMBA TV.
Join us as we dive deep into the intricacies of the U.S. elections. We'll explore the untold stories, what influences voter decisions, the impact of swing states, and the strategies candidates use to sway the public.
Who has the chance of winning? We'll analyze the current contenders, dissect the polls, and share insider insights from political strategists and analysts.
Get ready for a compelling journey into the heart of American democracy. Tune in for exclusive interviews, captivating stories, and the facts behind the fiction, because it's time to truly understand how America votes.
Voting Uncovered, only on ABC AMBA TV. Don't miss out on these insights.
The U.S. election has gotten so tough that everyone is so interested in it. Welcome to the U.S. elections with Undaunted. I am Oyin Opala. Well, this year's U.S. election has gotten to a very point that everyone has to be interested. Well, Cardi B has gotten involved in the U.S. election even. She has used the platform to express her views and also to engage with voters. At this point, it could be women supporting women, because she doesn't think that Trump has a right to say what he has said about the female reproductive system. Let's see the video of Cardi B.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. I can't stand a bully. But just like Kamala, I always stand up to one. All the time. I'm ready for him. Yeah. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I wasn't going to vote this year. I wasn't. But Kamala Harris joining the race, she changed my mind completely. I did not have faith on any candidate until she joined the race and said the things that I wanted to hear, that I want to see next in this country. All right? I believe in every word that comes out of her mouth. She's passionate, she's compassionate, she shows empathy, and most of all, she is not delusional. Yeah. Yeah. Kamala recognized that this country is at risk, that the economy needs to get stronger, that the cost of food and the cost of living is too high. Damn, it's even high for me. I believe her when she says, under her, buying eggs and milk won't break the bank, because she's going to pass a ban on price gouging on groceries. And she told me that in my face. So she better not lie to me in my face. Yeah. I believe her when she says she will make housing more affordable by providing Americans with $25,000 in down payment assistance. Yeah. Hold on. I got more. Yeah, she's promising a lot. And I believe her when she says she will provide a tax cut to 100 million middle-class Americans. That's a lot of Americans.
Oh, well, we remember in 2020, she interviewed Joe Biden on Instagram Live. She was discussing issues like racial equality, police brutality, and healthcare. Well, this conversation helped, reach a younger audience and showed her interest in politics as well. Who are her target audience this time around? Well, let's take a look at Cardi B's past political engagement, especially her interview with Joe Biden, where she discussed key issues affecting young voters, highlighting her desire for political change. Could she be interested in politics? What about voter registration efforts? She encouraged fans to register and vote in previous elections. Social justice advocacy. She used the platform to raise awareness about social justice, including racial equality and police brutality. Well, we need to be reminded that celebrity involvement in politics can evolve. Even if it's just 2 days, she could just make a post on her socials and change her thoughts. And Cardi B's role in the 2024 elections may become more defined as we just 3 days away from the elections. Oh, well, moving into the very important persons in the world currently. Let's see this video.
The plan is, as you know, the vote is, they have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia.
Good evening, America! Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy lives. And this election is more than just a choice between two parties and two different candidates. It is a choice about whether we have a country rooted in freedom for every American or ruled by chaos and division.
Hello? Hello? I don't think so. Hello? Is that better? Is that better? That's terrible. Is that better back there? Was that yes or no? What crap. The only thing I asked for is a mic. You don't have to give, I don't even need a stage. I don't give a damn. Give me a good mic. And I went through 2 of these today. And it knocks the hell out.
Oh, well, we just few days to go until the U.S. presidential election. Millions of Americans have already cast their ballot through early voting as of Thursday. Reports says that more than 62.7 million voters had submitted their ballots, which is a remarkable number that's generating buzz on both sides of the aisle. Now, while partisans are quick to claim these data as evidence of a decisive advantage, experts caution that it's difficult to say what it is truly or what it could mean. One thing is certain, though Americans' voting habits have undergone a significant shift due to the pandemic, this year's early voting totals, while lower than the 100.5 million early votes and ballots cast in 2020, well, surpasses the number seen in 2016, which is 47.2 million, I beg your pardon, and in 2012, 46.2 million. Now, what are the early voting trends and what do we look for as the election day draws near is a question we are trying to answer. Well, let's talk about the increased participation. We discovered that more people are taking advantage of early voting options, with 47 states and Washington, D.C. offering at least one option to cast ballots before Election Day. How about the state-by-state variation? Each state handles early voting differently, with varying starts and end dates for in-person voting and mail-in ballots. If we want to look at the democratic and demographic insights, some states release demographic information such as party registration, gender, race, age, providing glimpse into who is participating. That's not even that. The University of Florida's election lab, which is led by Dr. McDonald, has been tracking early voting statistics since 2008, providing valuable insight into voter engagement and turnout. Their data reveals clues about expected overall turnout and relative partisan engagement, helping pollsters refine their models. Who is going to benefit from all of this? Exactly. The answer is definitely who wins, because all of these are mapping together to ensure that people turn up and vote for the candidate of their choice. What can help someone determine who the candidate of their choice will be? Can world leaders do so? Well, as the election approaches election day on November 5th, it is important to take a look at what other leaders think. Leaders will prefer who they can work with. Leaders would prefer who they feel is more diplomatic or whose words would match theirs. Well, the world is watching closely to see who will win the tight race between Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris and Republican former President Donald Trump. So while Russian leader Vladimir Putin has hinted in his words at preferring Harris, experts believe he's actually in favor of Trump to win due to Trump's softer stance on Russia, particularly regarding Ukraine and its sanctions. But what about other world leaders? What are they saying? Who have they hinted they would support? Well, Undaunted took a breakdown of who they may prefer. Now, let's start with China's Xi Jinping. Well, likely to prefer Trump as his administration's trade policies have inadvertently benefited China, and Trump's unpredictability could continue to give China an upper hand in the global trade. So the businessman in the US, who will they support in this angle? Well, we'll leave you to answer that. The European Union leaders generally prefer Harris, as she's seen as more supportive of international cooperation and multilateral agreements aligning with EU values. And so this would hint and tilt the way for others. Meanwhile, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi may prefer Trump, given their previous diplomatic interactions and Trump's harder stance on Pakistan and their rivals. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu likely to prefer Trump as well, due to Trump's strong support for Israel and his relocation of the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem. Iranian Supreme Leader might prefer Harris, as she's expressed willingness to re-enter the Iran nuclear deal, which Trump withdrew from. All right, so all of these leaders could either constitute the thought pattern of voters or, confuse them, or maybe convince them, as the case may be. The North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un, could prefer Trump, given their unconventional relationship and Trump's willingness to engage in direct talks. It is also important that I would point out here that we keep in mind that these are, speculative preferences we've got from their thoughts and, of course, their words, and what leaders' opinions may evolve based on various factors, which can also include policy shifts and diplomatic interaction. The outcome of the U.S. presidential election will undoubtedly have what we think is a far-reaching implication for global politics and international relations. The question again I would want to ask is, can all of this change the thoughts of the people? Are they convinced already on who they want? Oh, well, just a few days for us to know and answer that question. Now, let's go down to other issues and compare the thoughts of Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and try to weigh in who is probably getting the presidential seats. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump has had divergent issues on several subjects, which in my opinion could make it easier for people to vote. For instance, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have vastly different views on abortion. Now, Trump celebrates the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which allowed states to ban or what we say severely restrict abortion access. He believes abortion regulation should be left to individual states, supporting exceptions for rape, incest, or life of the mother. But in contrast, Harris advocates for reproductive freedom, endorsing the restoration of the prior federal standards under Roe v. Wade, which guaranteed the right to abortion until fetal viability. Now, let's see a clip of that.
The plan is, as you know, the vote is, they have abortion in the 9th month. They even have, and you can look at the governor of West Virginia, the previous governor of West Virginia, not the current governor, who's doing an excellent job, but the governor before, he said the baby will be born and we will decide what to do with the baby. In other words, we'll execute the baby. And that's why I did that, because that predominates, because they're radical. The Democrats are radical in that. And her vice presidential pick, which I think was a horrible pick, by the way, for our country, because he is really out of it. But her vice presidential pick says abortion in the 9th month is absolutely fine. He also says execution after birth. It's execution, no longer abortion, because the baby is born, is okay. And that's not okay with me, hence the vote. But what I did is something for 52 years. They've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. And through the genius and heart and strength of 6 Supreme Court justices, we were able to do that. Now, I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. I believe strongly in it. Ronald Reagan did also. 85% of Republicans do. Exceptions, very important. But we were able to get it, and now states are voting on it. And for the first time, you're going to see, look, this is an issue that's torn our country apart for 52 years. Every legal scholar, every Democrat, every Republican, liberal, conservative, they all wanted this issue to be brought back to the states where the people could vote. And that's what happened. Now, Ohio, the vote was somewhat liberal. Kansas, the vote was somewhat liberal, much more liberal than people would have thought. But each individual state is voting. It's the vote of the people now. It's not tied up in the federal government. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it. And I give tremendous credit to those 6 justices.
Oh, well. So in clear terms, for the abortion stance, Trump supports state-level abortion regulation except for rape, incest, or life of the mother, while Harris advocates for reproductive freedom, federal standard under Roe v. Wade. Now, let's go to immigration. Their views are also divergent. Trump's stance is characterized by stricter border control and tighter restrictions on asylum seekers. Harris, on the other hand, supports comprehensive immigration reform, advocating for a pathway to citizenships for undocumented immigrants. So let's have a comparative stand here. Trump stands for stricter border control, tighter restriction as asylum seekers, while Harris wants a comprehensive immigration reform, pathway to citizenships for undocumented immigrants. As the US elections draws even nearer, from months we've counted down to weeks and weeks to days. Any moment from now, it will be ours. The debate on marijuana legalization. What are people's thought about that? Currently, 24 states and Washington, D.C. have legalized recreational marijuana, while 38 states and D.C. have legalized medical marijuana. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris have differing views on these as well. Trump supports letting states decide on recreational weed legalization, similar to his 2016 stance, but hasn't endorsed national legalization. While he's also open to continuing medical marijuana research and even expressed support for Florida's recreational marijuana ballot measure. On the other hand, Kamala Harris is a strong advocate for federal marijuana legalization. She believes it's time to stop criminalizing marijuana use and has co-sponsored legislation to the end cannabis prohibition. Harris' stance marks a shift from her past as a prosecutor, while she took a tough stand on drug-related crimes. And we remember as senator, she supported initiatives to expunge nonviolent marijuana convictions and highlighted racial disparities in cannabis-related arrests. So if we want to balance the key differences, is on national legalization. Harris supports federal legalization, while Trump leaves it to states. Medical research. Trump is open to continuing medical research, medical marijuana research, while Harris wants to stop criminalization marijuana use, while Trump hasn't made this a priority. In terms of social equity, Harris emphasizing addressing social issues in cannabis-related arrests and convictions. Well, their contrasted views so far, as the election draws nearer, reflect the broader debate on cannabis policy. Not just that, corporate interest and social equity. The outcome of the 2024 presidential election will likely shape the future of abortion, immigration, and we are adding today marijuana legalization in the United States. Oh, well, we'll definitely bring you up to speed as the day draws nearer. Who will you vote for? Well, Undaunted is here for all of the bits and pieces, and will definitely continue to give you the latest in the U.S. elections. I am Oyin Obala. Thank you for joining us.
Every 4 years, America faces a pivotal moment, choosing its next leader. But how does this process really work? Welcome to Voting Uncovered on ABC AMBA TV.
Join us as we dive deep into the intricacies of the U.S. elections. We'll explore the untold stories, what influences voter decisions, the impact of swing states, and the strategies candidates use to sway the public.
Who has the chance of winning? We'll analyze the current contenders, dissect the polls, and share insider insights from political strategists and analysts.
Get ready for a compelling journey into the heart of American democracy. Tune in for exclusive interviews, captivating stories, and the facts behind the fiction, because it's time to truly understand how America votes.
Voting Uncovered, only on ABC AMBA TV. Don't miss out on these insights.